Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Kyle Carroll from MyMMAnews.com and Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. Today, I am joined with Jervon Faison. We'll be fighting at Cage Wars 50. Jervon, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Glad to be here.
Glad to hear. I'm glad to have you. You're feeling better. Tell us a little bit about how training's going for you. You're just getting over a little cold. Tell us how things are going for you.
And everything's going pretty smooth, man. Just really trying to find time, making sure to balance everything out. With working a full schedule also. But I feel like everything's going good, man. Honestly,
Awesome. And balancing something between work and training, and that's gotta be pretty difficult. How do you do that? How do you stay focused?
man, it's focused on the task in hand. That's what it is. Basically, you got goals that you set up, and I mean, you can't just make an excuse because of everyday life. Everybody goes out and work. Everybody has something they gotta do, so you gotta find the time to do the stuff you love.
Isn't that the truth? So now you got this fight coming up ahead of you. Tell us a little bit about the opponent you're fighting. What do you know about him? What are some of the challenges you believe he presents to you?
Well, it's funny. Like me and him actually have kind of similar backgrounds. Both of us are
Okay.
wrestlers. I seen that he was a Division II section wrestler, so evidently, he has a strong wrestling background. But I was also a state champion wrestler in high school as well. So that part of the match is what I'm really excited about. But he's also a white belt in jiu-jitsu, which I have heard about. That also team, I think it's Team JUCO that
Hmm.
he's a part of. And I've got my fortunate to work with some good guys as far as jiu-jitsu goes. I've worked with John Salter, some of the guys in his gym, and he's currently fighting for Bellator. And then coming up through high school, I had Derek Brunson as a wrestling coach who was also in the
Oh
UFC
wow.
right now. Both of those guys are from Wilmington, North Carolina, and the school that I went to was about 30 minutes from Wilmington. So got a chance to work with some pretty thorough people myself. So
Awesome.
it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a good matchup.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a pretty good team around you. I'm a former wrestler. I love watching wrestlers get in there, especially the big guys. I'm a fan of watching the big guys get in there. I think they're the king of the cage.
Oh yeah, man.
Um, so tell us, like you just said, wrestling you think might be a little bit canceled out, and you guys would probably end up staying on your feet. And then jujitsu might play a little bit of a factor. Um, tell us a little bit about your hands. Now I've seen some of your hands in some videos on the street fights, not street fights.
Oh yeah, street beefs.
Yeah, tell me about that. That looked pretty interesting.
Yeah, man. So first of all, like big shout out to them. Street beefs is a platform basically where when it first started, it was for people that had beef in the streets with other people, and instead of them going out in the street shooting each other or stabbing or whatever, they gave them a place in order for them to settle things like men.
Okay.
And so they got a chance to squabble up. But then they grew very big. Actually, right now, Street Beefs is the #1 fight club on YouTube at the moment. My fight, along with Moses, got 8.8 million views. So it's a big thing out there now, from where they first started from. So, I mean, they host some events in a lot of different places. North Carolina just became one of their big places that they started doing it, but it's based out of Virginia. They have a West Coast branch, they have a Texas branch, and now they're actually doing street beefs in the UK.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
that was pretty cool. It was different. Like you're it looked like you're just outside. For those who haven't seen it, go to Street Beefs on YouTube, and it's like a fence around it, like just in the grass, and like I think there was some hay behind the fence. But you were fighting. Did you only do one fight with them, or did you do
So
multiple?
I did too.
Okay. I saw the
My,
one versus
my
Bad Man.
yeah, Madman Moses. That's it's funny, man, because a lot of people see that fight and they think that we hate each other, and really we're really good friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we're actually partners now. We fight under the same team along with a guy named JP Powers. Which, if you've ever seen JP, he's a monster with his hands, man. He's a monster. So it's just a group of guys. All of us are spread out different. I'm from North Carolina. Moses is from Pittsburgh, and JP is from Connecticut. We all
Oh,
keep
wow.
up with each other through Facebook, like that's, and then training from time to time with each other. So it's pretty cool, man.
That was pretty sweet. You guys are from all over. But that Street Beefs thing looks pretty fun. And also, so I also got to see how you move pretty quick on your feet, like, especially when you're grappling and wrestling. You brought him down, you're spinning around and throwing some big, heavy shots to the face. Got to see a little bit of you fight. Um, Tell us a little bit about your transition from wrestling to MMA. How'd you get into it? Why'd you decide to do MMA? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, initially, like I said, I mean, having Brunson is one of the guys that I was working under, but I had some family members that was also in it. Jamie Pickett, who just got picked up by the UFC not too long ago. He's a guy from my hometown,
Oh, cool.
and it was kind of like a little role model for us because where I'm from, man, it's so small over here. Like we got one stoplight and two convenience stores. Like that's our Walmart is a Dollar General. So so for to have somebody to be a standout like that and get a chance to produce well as he is right now, that was kind of like like a big encouragement. Like this is something that we can all do. But um as far as the first MMA fight I did, which was with Street Beast, is I had a homeboy that we call Baby Hulk. If you ever look into it, Baby Hulk, his name is David Wilson. He's actually a pro right now.
Okay.
He's the one that invited me to Street Beast, and so after that first one, I went in. I didn't do any training whatsoever. Just basically coming off of semi-pro football at the time, and joined in on it. So initially I went there to watch, but then they didn't have a matchup for Moses. So then I got into it. I was like, well, I'm gonna try it out, see how it goes. And so went pretty well. Then after that first fight, I got addicted to it, and so now here we are.
That's awesome. Definitely a sweet way and different way to get into it. Uh, so, but you talk about you're a state champion in wrestling. How was wrestling? You the whole thing, the mentality, the focus. You're a champion in wrestling. You pull that over to MMA. How does so much of that translate? And what do you do to keep that mental focus?
Well, wrestling alone just built. I feel like it built my character a lot more, and being able to mentally lock in. You could train with your teammates all week long, all month, all year,
Hmm.
but when you get on the mat and it's time for you to wrestle, it's just you and that other guy that's standing across. So if you're not mentally locked in, I mean, you've wrestled before, so you definitely know how it is. It's quick where you have to prepare yourself, and then not only that, I mean, the cutting weight, the running, the this and that and the third, all the exercises you do, it kind of like breaks you down but builds you back up
Hmm.
in a sense. You get a better version of yourself, and after 4 years of doing it, and then I coached it for 7 years. I got a chance to see, that other side of things also. So I feel like wrestling just brought me better as a whole. Like I feel more complete since I've done that. You know.
That's awesome. And you're talking about coaching, sort of different side of it. How much of that helped you hone into the details for when now you're like fighting and training wrestling for MMA? You're like, all right, the small little details, making sure I get my foot over here, hand placement, knee placement. How much of that have you been able to, I guess, focus in on the details because you coached?
Definitely a lot more now that I've coached. Now I get it. What my coaches
Hmm.
had to go through. It's frustrating whenever. So you know how with us as heavyweights, we like big powerful throws and
Hmm.
which one can muscle out the other one. But now after wrestling, I've the coaching side made me work on technique a lot more. So now I like to consider myself more of a technical wrestler, or just a techno artist. Period. Because now,
Hmm.
listening to your coach is telling, like, if he sees it, all right, this guy's hands dropping, I need you to throw this jab. Now that I've been on that other side, I listen because you see they got a game plan for you for a reason. And so it's best for you to follow. If your coach is telling you something, it's a little easier for them to see it than for you to just go out there and think that you know what you're doing.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Now, so this fight coming up, you're fighting super heavyweight, I believe, correct?
Yes, sir.
Um, what is one the meal you're gonna go for after? What's do you have like a special meal that you always eat after your fights? 'Cause I know I got this is one. I'm a big guy. I love eating, so I always want to know what everyone's having the first meal they can. First real meal, maybe not right after the fight, but something you can chow down on. What is it?
Man, whew, honestly, my wife cooked some banging wings.
Yeah?
So I'm
Okay.
probably gonna turn down on some wings, and I'm definitely gonna have a beer because of this fight. I have not drunk any beer, and I love beer, but haven't been doing any right now. So plan on getting me a cooler full of them too after this.
There you go. So you gave up beer for the fights.
Oh
Definitely a
yeah,
wise move. But I feel like it's funny because when you see fighters and stuff, you guys are just a different breed of people. We used to have at Cage Wars because you're at the casino the night before the fights. One of
right.
the heavyweight fighters would walk around, just get drunk the night before, and then show up. And I've never seen a guy fight like him. He just somehow managed to pull together every fight and win.
Yeah,
Um,
man. Yes.
yeah, hot pretzel. He said the key was a hot pretzel and beer, and then would wake up at like 2:30 in the afternoon.
Well, man, that's like me on a day of wrestling tournaments. I used to could eat a whole box of pizza and go out there and perform just fine. It just, it just all depends. Heavyweights are special, man. We're a
Isn't that the
different breed.
truth? That's awesome. Isn't that the truth? Um, so tell us the one thing about you that nobody knows, but you'd like to share. Doesn't have to be combat sports related. Could be
Uh,
anything.
let's see. Okay, one thing before me, and this might be a little crazy to say this, but honestly, I get really nervous before any kind of event. It's been times on the wrestling mat where I look at a guy and I'd be like, all right, I know I can legit pin him in 15 seconds. But it's just this thing where I have a nerve build up, but it's in a good way though. It's in a good way.
It's like a
It just
respectful type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, like I,
Okay.
I respect anybody that I go with. First of all, if you're out here doing this sport and you're
Yeah,
getting
absolutely.
punched in the face or this and that, and the third, I gotta respect because not everybody can do this, So I have a huge respect for that. Another thing is, I would say probably the asthma condition. I was
Okay.
once diagnosed as a chronic asthmatic, so I couldn't do any sports until I got into high school. And so once I was able to do sports, like, dude, it was nonstop. I did football, wrestling, baseball, track, rugby. Like, I played everything I could possibly play,
That's awesome.
and wound up. So I told you about the state championship in wrestling, but I also
Hmm.
got another one in track as a thrower.
Oh, nice.
And the funny thing is, I didn't even want to do track because I was so involved in the baseball that I was like, I didn't want to do track. But my coach, he kind of talked me into it. My football coach talked me into it. And the first year, didn't win anything. But I think I came in like seventh place in the state in the first year. Next year, came back around and won it all. So
That's
hats off to
awesome.
him for that.
Was it a shot put or discus?
Shot put.
All right, awesome. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
Nice. Yeah, there's some big guys throwing, and they throw that the giant metal ball
Oh
pretty
man.
far.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for you, man. So two sport athlete, and you won states in two different sports. That's pretty impressive.
Yes, sir.
Good for you. Good for you. So what are the goals in your for MMA for you? What do you want to do with it, short term, long term?
Short term, I would like to finish the amateurs out undefeated for sure. That's a big goal of mine with
Hmm.
with just the amateurs. But after that, man, just going as far as I can go and doing this while God is blessing me to be able to have this ability. As long as I'm able to do it, I want to do it the right way. Like I also said, I was talking earlier. I don't want to do too many fights at super heavyweight. Also, I'm trying to cut down the
Hmm.
heavyweight and get back into great shape on that. If I can get anywhere between like 250, 265, fine with that. Um, Being a super heavyweight is a little different. It's a little different. You don't really have the pressure of cutting weight, but having the win to go all 3 rounds or all 5 rounds if you get to a championship fight, you want to be able to still do that. Which it helps that I have smaller training partners because with that speed, they're able to push me and make me go to that level. So that's been a big help. Also, that's another thing that I did in high school and where I credit them for the speed that I do have because I got used to wrestling and scrambling around with guys that were 189 pounds and I was weighing 250, 260. So it kind of forced me to become a little bit faster.
Absolutely, yeah. You kind of react to what they're doing, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's the other thing though. When you're in high school, there's not too many of the big guys wrestling with you,
Oh, yeah.
so you
Yeah.
gotta wrestle with the little guys.
Hard to find, man. Hard to find.
Absolutely, like you said, big guys are a rare breed. So you want to go as far as you can with it. You want to go down this heavyweight. You obviously have been there because you've wrestled at that weight. How much are you weighing in for right now for this fight at super
Um,
heavy?
Well, it's been crazy, man. With work and shoot, I can sweat out sometimes anywhere between 7 and 8 pounds a day. Just all depends, but I'm replenishing it right back.
Mhm.
So I've been jumping between like 330 and 320 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been like a little 10 pound difference every
Gotcha.
other couple days.
Absolutely. So then, all right, so you're gonna go down possibly in the future. Um, tell us, what about the heavyweights though? That when you get to that next level, to the professional level, you got to kind of like change gears. I always ask fighters, what is it have to do that they believe will help them be successful when they go professional?
Well, man, just working on your weaknesses. That's the main thing. You gotta be realistic and let yourself know, like, okay, even if you are winning all these matches, you have a weakness, and I feel like you surround yourself with guys that are better than you. If you're the most dominant one in the room all the time, you're not getting any better. So I feel like going to a gym and being consistent with guys that everybody in the gym are drillers and killers. Having
Hmm.
somebody that can actually beat you up a little bit, make you tired, make you work for everything. That's the best thing. And it's just respecting everybody inside of the gym. Like, those guys are there for a reason. They're not just there just for the heck of it. This isn't a sport that you play. So therefore, like, that's the big thing with that. Just keeping guys around you that's gonna make you better.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Now, tell us, do you have any sponsors? Anyone that helps you, get ready for this fight to support? If you want to recognize them here, shout out for them.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I have Matthews Bonus Law and Firm, which is one of my cousins actually, and he's
Awesome.
from Maple Hill, North Carolina as well. OmniFist, which is my little group with Mark Moses and JP. They've been helping out also. And then I have a couple friends that actually helped me out with some sponsorships on from Facebook, but it was from old elementary school friends. Some of the guys I
Oh,
haven't seen
cool.
since elementary school, and James Parker, definitely wanted to shout him out for that reason too.
That's awesome that you're able to people are the community is jumping behind you and supporting you.
Oh yeah, man, heck of support. It's been so much. It's been a lot of love, man. I appreciate it a lot too.
And now you're coming up to the Albany area, Schenectady Casino, the Rivers Resort and Casino. It's a pretty loud, it's a gorgeous venue, and then it's pretty loud inside. What do you know about it? What do you expect from it? New York upstate guys get pretty rowdy.
Oh
What,
yeah,
what
man.
what can you expect?
Well, I definitely expect a lot now. I'm a huge baseball fan. I'm a Boston Red Sox fan at that.
Okay,
So I know how it is with the New York guys, but I'm definitely looking forward to the experience. My dad is from up that way, and so
all right.
I've never personally been there before. So just to get a chance to experience New York, I feel like that's gonna be cool. But I've been watching a lot of Cage Awards matches for a while now, and I've seen how crazy it gets inside of there. I just can't wait to stand inside of that octagon and feel it for myself.
Yeah, and for those you hear them say octagon, it is an octagon. It's actually been used in the UFC a few times when they've come into the area, that specific cage. So it's pretty cool. And then I'll be alongside Will Barry and Ben Field calling the action once
Nice.
again. So it's always a privilege to see you guys get in there and fight. Jervon, I wish you the best. I'm looking forward to this fight. I always love watching the big guys get in there and rumble. So definitely looking forward to see what you've done inside the gym and go from there.
Yes, sir, man. I'm looking to put on my best performance for you.
Awesome. Prediction for the fight before I let you go.
Ah, man. Uh,
Had to sneak it in there.
um, gonna say maybe round two, and round two, I'm gonna go with we ended on the feet. We're gonna
And then
end it
on the feet.
standing up. Gonna
All
end it
right.
standing up.
Round two on the feet. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Javon, I appreciate you coming on. Wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you there.
All right, man. I appreciate you for having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is Carol's Corner MMA podcast, and we're signing off.